The flow. He did not know what he was doing. All he knew was that if he stopped, it would be over. It didn't matter what he wrote, the words just had to flow or the world would no longer be. He didn't know if he was writing the world or if his words simply sat impotently on the page, never to be read by another soul or change the world in even the most meaningless way. But he had to write. As he wrote, he thought. He pondered the meaning of the words he put down on the page before him and the strange situation in which he found himself. Had he always been here, writing as he was now? He did not know. Was there a time when he had not been writing? Was there even a world beyond his ink and paper, or was this all there was? He had no way of knowing anything beyond the compulsion to write. Where did this compulsion come from? He glanced back over his words as his hand continued the mechanical process of transcribing his thoughts. They made little sense at times, and at others were outright inconsistent. He had written of things that he no longer recognised, used words he did not know. Was he losing something of himself the longer he wrote? Was the process of purging his mind onto the page, emptying it of thought?
Make it stop.
There must have been a reason for his writing, a reason he felt so compelled to continue that it was one of the few remaining thoughts in his head. Perhaps he could recapture it if he reflected more on the situation. Yet, as he attempted this, he rapidly realised the futility of doing so with so little knowledge of the world and his place in it. Even the basics led his mind in circles. Words flowed from his hand, and his eyes understood them, so therefore the words must correspond to the concepts they brought to mind. It logically followed that there would be others who would understand the same words. Or did it? A language would only come about as a means to communicate, which ought to infer the existence of other people in the world. Yet, what he was writing could be nothing more than objectively meaningless scribbles arbitrarily assigned meaning by his mind. How did he know that what he was writing were words, except insomuch as he decided to call them such? Would the world truly end if he stopped writing? How would he know if it did? Surely he would, by definition, not be able to experience the lack of existence that would follow were that the case. Why was he even considering the possibility? Perhaps he was tired of writing. He could not deny that he had been questioning the reasons why he continued. His questioning was there on the page before him. As he glanced back at the words he left in his wake, his eyes came to rest briefly on 3 words almost carved into the page they had been written with such force. Make it stop. He did not remember writing that. Did he want it to be over? Did he want to stop writing? It was a strange thing for him to not know. Should he wish the end of something purely because he no longer understood the reason for it? What if there were no reason, and his writing was as pointless as his mind was blank? What if, rather than the world ending, it would begin were he to stop? Why would he think that? All he knew was the compulsion to write and the distant sensation that, were he to stop, so would everything else. But what exactly was everything else? The existence of anything other than himself and the page before him was conjecture at best, so why should he seek to preserve something he did not know existed by doing something he seemingly did not wish to do? His writing slowed, along with his thoughts. Had he come to a conclusion? He was not sure. He was running out of thoughts to write down. The words trickled from his hand instead of flowing as they had. He stopped.